Ty Regan now, Mrs. Conor O'Leary, Mrs. Begley, Mrs. Colleen, Bridie Paul, Mr. Condon, Mrs. Gamble, jewellery, like all, and all the price of the food at that time. I'd say that's now about 55 or 56, I'd say.
Do you remember all those people?
I do. I remember Mary Mead, I do. She was from Kilbrittain now, Mary Mead, Mrs. Roach, Mrs. Reen, Mrs. Hayes. Well, I know the street, the houses were built there in 1930 or 1830, and my husband's grandmother came in and rented it from the Robinson estate, and about, I'd say, close in the 1880s, and then she, her husband, came building the West Cork Railway, and he was right from Tipperary, and he married in here, and they had a son and daughter, and the daughter was my husband's mother, and then when she grew to be marriageable age, she married again a man from West Cork, and they had two sons, Pather and Sean, and I married Pather then, so like we have 5 in family, and I'm here 47 years, so that's but in, I think it was in 1950, my mother-in-law bought the place, the house was up for sale from the Robinson estate, and they bought him that for something like around 400 pounds, and that's like.
So these original buildings were owned by an English family, the whole street?
Yes, because you see, Bandon was a Protestant town, and like and here as well, the first Catholic that ever lived in Bandon lived here in Tin Market Street, and he was a harness maker, and he when my husband was growing up in the attic, he could find the collars, bits of leather and all that he used to carry out his business, like. About 92 or 3, whenever Super Value came across they were across the road in the gully in Market Street now, and like our business then kind of dwindled away after that, and earlier, like in the early time now, the shop sold bacon and fish, true beans, shoulders of bacon, pig's heads, and all that. They had a great business, and even during the time of the war, my husband's grandfather, he killed pigs and sold them, because like when things were bad, and cured them and all, and sold them here. I reared my family here then, and they're all married, and none of them don't see a livelihood, but I will pass it on to one of them, because I want to keep the name and let them do whatever they like with it. Like I'd keep it in the family while I'm alive anyway, for posterity.
So what was the shop like when you started working in there?
It had run down a small bit, because my mother now was 70 years, and she had it, but still she kept the door open, and we worked up a good business then, a very good business, until Super Value opened across the road, and that's about, I think that's about 15 years ago. I'm not quite sure now. I haven't, but I know until then, and we have 4 generations, people that dealt with my mother-in-law, their children and grandchildren. I have 4 generations. The smaller children, the 4th generation, still come and buy sweets and things in the shop, so it's going back. But I have given up selling the cigarettes now again with 4 years, because on account of like the ban of cigarettes, and for the children's sake, I don't want to be selling them to the children when I'm selling the sweets. Like I don't want to be selling the cigarettes with them, like, so that. They're all closed now. There was Spillane here next door, they closed, and there was John Collins down the street. There was Christy O'Leary's. There was actually 6 shops selling much the same thing. Well, Spillane's and us, we sold the bacon and the rashers and cooked ham and corned beef and all that time. But when Super Value it came in, like that affected all that very much, like, you know. As a matter of fact, at the moment now, there's not a livelihood there because our insurance now, public liability, and it is very expensive, and you have a plate glass window you have to insure, and you have to insure what you sell and everything, so that and you have to pay your accountant and your ESB and your telephone and, you know, all your expenses. So only for that I've the widow's pension now. I have it now just for company, like, you know. Because I have my friends that come, and even they might only come in for a chat, or they might only come to know what time is the bus, or, you know, it is more a I have one customer and he says, you're just a shoulder to cry on. Like, they come and tell their troubles, like, you know, I'll talk about them, you know. It is only a kind of what would I say it, you know, it's as much for them as for me, like, that we both enjoy the same thing, like, you know. But I really enjoyed my life here, even though I worked very, very hard, because at that time now you get a big bag of sugar in the 1960s, and you'd weigh it out in £2, £4 and £7, like, you know, and you'd weigh up all your potatoes now, but the potatoes come now in 10 kilos and 5 kilos, and there'd be only very, very few people would ask for you for a couple of pounds. Like, I'd open a bag and I'd have some for myself and I'd have some for and this 93-year-old man now, he's come for a big potato, like, you know, and he'd come for an onion, and, you know, and like I'd have the bag open for myself anyway, and I'd be sharing it with him, and in the end he used to say, could I sell him half a brack, you know, and you know, it was, I had one customer, and they were great customers. There was 9 in family, and they had a monthly book, and they'd come to town and they'd be looking for something, and they'd say, the children would say, like, you know, go up to Nan's and you'll get it for nothing, because see, to be put on the book, and they thought you'd walk into Nan's and you'd get it for nothing because, you see, they were monthly customers. They thought they'd get it, they hadn't to be paid for it all.
And did most people pay what they owed you?
Well, I could say 80% of them did anyway. Like, there's a few skeletons here all right now.
Were times tough in Bandon in the 60s and 70s?
They were. Well, the thing about it was, we had no television, and well, I suppose television came out right in 62, but that time you made all the children's clothes at night, and you were a lot more what would I say, you made their clothes, and you knit their jumpers and all this kind of, whereas nobody's doing that now, like, you know, and you passed down the eldest down to the next. You bought the good thing the first day and you passed it down from one to one. The only thing you didn't pass down were the shoes.
The Polish shop, do you have much dealings with them? Do you know who they are? When
No,
did they start?
I don't. Only they have opened it now. It is only, well, I'd say about 6 months. But the Polish people are thrilled with it, because I have a son-in-law that works in the creamery in Bandon, and they're great workers, and he's very good to them, because like, he has 2 brothers married to 2 Portuguese girls, and he helps them, like, you know, in every way, like, you know, but he said they tell him that they're thrilled with the shop here, because it's like a Super Value. They import the stuff into Dublin, and there's a van comes down and delivers it here, and they get it nearly very little dearer than they'd buy it in Poland, like, you know, and they're thrilled with it. And they have what you call it, dishes now, and they can get their own television, like they have satellite dishes, and they're very happy, and they get a weekly newspaper and everything. they used to import the Danish pig's heads from Denmark, and they'd be delivered in a big barrel, and they'd be in the pickle and everything. And there was a tractor just inside the door there, and they'd be put on the tractor, and they'd go into the cellar. Then from the back, there was an entrance into the back, and they'd take them out as they needed them.
And were they popular?
Oh, very popular altogether. You see, Danish bacon has had a lovely flavour, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like you know that, and as I say, then there was a lovely recipe going then for cooking the pig's head and adding spices and everything to it, like.
And how much would a pig's head have cost?
Oh, it would have been very, to be only about 5 shillings, like, you know. Sure, I have an old book there now, and the price of all these kind of things are in it. Just an old, look, meat, potatoes and sauce, look. Where do I know? I see the price of a pig's head. 2 pudding. You see, this is the kind of a loin bake now, £4. Imagine £4 of loin bake was only 15 and 6pence. Should have been only about 75 cents now. Pig's head again, 6 and 3pence here. 4 feet to an 8pence, 4 pig's feet. 6 and 11pence there, and 4 feet to an 8pence. Where was the piece of candles? Now you see, this is the kind of thing that she was selling now. She sold flour and ham and lard and a half a pig's head, 5 and 11pence. £2 of meat, £2 of onions. 2 pounds of onions, 1 and 4pence. And candles and rinser. Like, you know, you don't hear of rinser anymore now. What are these? Yeah.